All right. I have an intro I came up with last night.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
There is some debate as to why it is called Trigun. It is not super clear. And I have come up with the true reason. It's because it presents a problem. And it's like, what do we do about this problem? And the answer is, try gun. And that's the intro.
I was hoping that it was just because somebody had 3 guns.
So that is actually a pretty good contender for the reason, although it's a little confusing.
How could that be confusing? You either have 3 guns or you don't have 3 guns.
Sammy. Oh, you sweet, innocent child. How I envy you. Yeah, it is, it's a little weird, but, we'll get into it. Because you're here. Welcome to The Lore You Know, a podcast where some friends talk about the fantastic and often convoluted lore of the media you grew up with and love. And here to spit mostly correct facts is me, CJ.
Me, Ethan.
And me, Sammy.
It's us. Look at us. Hey, look at us.
Look at us.
We've all been on this show many times because we're all co-hosts, but never in this configuration. This Trigun.
Whoa.
This Mexican standoff of 3 white people.
Yeah.
Although Sammy, you're from New Mexico.
Nope.
Ish. Close.
Nope.
Pretty
It was a
close.
well placed ish at the end of that statement.
You're from. I think Arizona was part of old Mexico for a while. And then they're like, we're only going to name this part New Mexico. And this other part we're going to name after
something different.
Something.
Sammy, you're from a place that's closer to Mexico than we are currently.
You want to talk about Trigun a little bit?
I'd love to talk
wanna
about
learn all
Trigun.
about it.
Sammy, you love Trigun. You're always talking about it.
Always.
All right.
Ever since I learned about it 2 minutes ago, I was like, this is the best.
This will be something
stuff.
I could talk about for 90 minutes or so.
Yes, exactly. I saw the picture of the guy with the hair. I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm. That is Vash.
Vash?
Vash. So let's lay down the ground rules as usual. Today, we're going to talk about mostly the old anime, the one that came out in the 90s.
That's not old. That's not old at all.
Well, old as opposed to the new,
youthful
newer
and exuberant anime.
Really in the peak of their time anime.
only aging well anime, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to talk about the 90s anime mostly, although I'll bring in a few things every once in a while from the original manga. So the way that this is all set up is Trigun is originally a manga, as most animes are. That manga got canceled, and then it got re-upped as a new manga that's basically the original, but different. We'll talk about it. So there's a manga based on a manga, and then there's an anime based on the manga based on the manga, and then there's a new anime based on the old anime, which is based on the manga, which is based on the manga. And the second season of that is coming out soon. That's why we're talking about this. So already it seems like it's going to get hairy, but don't worry, because there's only like 20 episodes to the anime, so it's actually pretty tight.
Nice.
A pretty tight read here, and a lot of this changes from the manga is like, I don't know, things get kind of weird. So so I might bring it up a little bit, but we're mostly gonna focus on the anime, and we're gonna go in chronological order today because this is another one of those classic 90s animes that gives you all of its background lore in fragmented flashbacks, which are very difficult to parse.
I love that.
So Like there's like flashbacks in the flashbacks, like that kind of thing.
That's good.
So it's like, they hate us. Why do they hate us? Well, brother, don't you remember why? And then they flash back. But like this whole scene was already like a flashback of.
Yeah, it's great.
I just remembered there's actually another layer of flashback because this is all happening in a scene that happened technically in the past to the rest of the series.
Good.
So we're just going to go chronologically, which means we're going to spoil some things. Like they're not going to be as impactful.
Which we never do any other time.
Well, it's just like you guys, Sammy, you're not going to get the full, like you might be like, why is that a big deal? But it's because probably it wasn't revealed in that order, but don't worry, okay?
Okay. I'm ready.
I'm sorry if I ruined the experience for you, Sammy.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to watching this, so.
Okay, so it is the distant future, and humanity has ruined the planet Earth. Dang.
Oh.
I can't believe we would do
Who could
this.
have seen that coming?
It
How
sucks.
distant are we talking?
We don't know. There is no timeline on this one. It is just revealed in a flashback of a bunch of people who are dead that the Earth was destroyed. It was humanity's fault, obviously. They treated their resources like they were infinite. But that's okay because they have invented the ability to travel through space and to use cryogenic technology to freeze humans, which of course means that they are going to build big spaceships and cryogenically freeze a bunch of humans, put them on the spaceships, and fling them out into space and see where they end up, and see if we can if we can create a new planet.
And just so we're clear, if I remember right, this is immediately all spoilers. Like, this is a big reveal halfway through the show.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Right.
It's
hinted at a lot. So we'll talk about it when we get to the main place. But the main planet that this is all taking place on is a planet called Gunsmoke, or in the original manga, it's called No Man's Land. And it is a whole like desert planet that makes this whole thing sort of like a Wild West themed thing. So you've got like space age technology mixed with like Wild West aesthetics, which is why people really like this anime. Well, one of the reasons, because it's all about like gunslinging space cowboy stuff. It's very cool.
People love space cowboys.
They do. They do love space cowboys. I love space cowboys. And so that is, and it was really popular in the 90s. I don't know why specifically, but it's cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, probably because of Cowboy Bebop.
Well, they had done it before then, probably, but yeah, I guess you're right. And then all the like Firefly and all that stuff.
All kinds.
So humanity is in a bunch of spaceships. They freeze a bunch of people. And they have one other trick up their sleeve. And we're going to introduce a new thing, which I really like about this, being a person who has to explain all this stuff to you. The idea that sometimes there are no explanations to things, so you just have to accept it. I really tried to look a bunch of this stuff up, and everyone was just like, it's just like that. And I'm like, sweet. I don't have to get into it too much.
But they like explicitly introduce this idea in the show. They're like, I guess things just happen and nobody should think too hard.
They just don't explain
it.
Everyone's just like, yeah, I know about this. So in this instance, their secret weapon is that humans have these creatures called plants.
We do
have that.
we do. But these are not like your daddy's plants. These plants are humanoid. They are, so this anime, another great contender for why this is called Trigun, is that this anime uses a lot of Christian themes, Christian symbology. As many animes do, but specifically like the guy who made this anime is Yasuhiro Naito, and he was like a born again Christian guy. So he had a lot of like ideas from Christianity.
That I'm excited to see how that relates to humanoid plants.
Yeah.
So
his
Trigun is like, try like holy, like
the holy trinity, man, plant, and gun.
Basically. Yeah. I mean, that's actually pretty close to another reason why it might be called Trigun. No, the plants are humanoid creatures, but they have a very angelic kind of aesthetic to them.
Because they have too many eyes?
They have the regular amount of eyes. Well, they change their form a lot. So they do kind of have like a biblical angel sort of sensation going on. They tend to have like wings, though they're all like wrapped up in them because they're always like in these like bulbs. Plants are used by the humans to power all of their stuff. They are a source of energy, and they say that if you put them in the correct conditions, they can also generate things like food and water and stuff. So they are really a sort of do-all for humanity survival.
Yeah, that seems pretty clutch.
That's great. I bet it
was very useful. Yeah,
we'll probably cherish and respect them, and everything will go really well.
Yeah, historically, humans have a great track record, but we'll see. They also tend to put them inside of these like light bulb shapes, which I think is kind of cute, although it is like an actual prison that they live in.
It's cozy core prison.
The humans are like the plants do kind of react to stuff, but they aren't human and they don't see, like, they're just like power supplies basically.
Okay.
So they have a bunch of these plants and a bunch of these humans, and they shoot them all off into space in a mission called Seeds. And so their plan is to just survive. Humanity's on the brink of extinction. We fucked up our planet. We're going to go find a new planet so that we can survive. And so on this ship, 5 of its crew members are woken up from cryostasis because they have a potential planet that they can settle on. And so, their job is like figure out, are we going to stop at this planet or are we just going to keep going and go back into cryo sleep or whatever? We have, these don't super matter too much, but I took the notes. So there's Captain Joey. There's Steve, who's kind of their mechanic. There's Rowan, who's like a science dude. There is Mary, who is a girl, and she's not given much apart from that. And then there's Rem, who is also a girl, but she's like a hippie girl, all about like peace and love and stuff. I don't know what her job is, but she's always like, humanity just needs to flourish like flowers. It's like, okay, Rem, cool.
Her job is hope.
Yeah, I guess.
Love that.
You're so right.
I like that their names are just like normal names.
Yeah, they're just regular people.
Shout out to Steve.
They haven't all gotten like crazy like wild west style yet. They're still just like regular humans who got shipped off from planet Earth.
They were the ones who were like, we should start giving things cooler names. This planet was like
Steve.
Yeah. What is it?
They really do start to get really
Alpha
stupid
467. I'm thinking instead we do Gunsmoke.
This whole planet's called Gunsmoke.
That's so cool.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. That's the thing about when you discover things, you can just name them whatever you want. That's probably mostly why all those white people took over all those places, because like, we just want stuff to name.
We want to name it. We've got so many names, we need somewhere to put them.
We've got so many names, and they're all George for some reason.
It's a good Christian name.
It really is. Okay, so they are investigating this planet, and they're like, it's pretty Earth-like. Apart from the fact that it has no water on it, it's almost all desert.
It seems like maybe the most important thing that you're looking for.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy that they're like, this planet has a lot of potential. And it's like, our scans indicate that there's almost no plants living. There's like nothing alive. But I guess what they mean is that the oxygen is breathable and the temperature is like technically
livable.
Yeah, within human living range.
I guess those are
but they also have the plants too. So like they are, they can have a lot of wiggle room with like what they're gonna do because the plants can provide so much.
Man, we're
they live
really winging it, just like
yeah, they live in space, so like most things are better than that.
right.
In a way.
Yeah, they're just like, we'll figure it out from here.
But they're pretty unconvinced, so they're like getting ready to not do this. While all this is happening, the crew discovers 2 babies aboard the ship.
That would be
that-
so scary to discover a baby you're not expecting
2
to be there.
babies.
That's
I know.
too much, man. I would go back
And
to
they-
sleep. I'd be like, I'm going back to cryo sleep.
They are at first like, we should kill these things because they find them in the plants room. So these two babies were somehow birthed from plants. In the anime, they don't go into this too much because our main characters are these 2 plants, and they're kind of the only 2 ones. Although in
these
the
are
manga,
human-looking babies, to be clear.
yes,
though.
these are humanoid-looking babies. And in the anime, there are other people like this. They're called independents because they are born from the plants, but they look and act mostly human. They age differently. So in like the first 90 days of having these babies, they quickly became like children.
That's
And then
terrifying.
after just like a few after just like a few years, they basically reach like adulthood, and then they stay as adults for like hundreds of years. So they are like fundamentally different beings, but they still have like human intelligence. They act like humans. They don't act like plants.
So they
find
don't
these 2
kill the babies.
They want to, but remember, Rem is
a
there, and
hippie
she's
girl,
like,
yeah.
she's like, you.
So that's
you
her
can't
job.
Kill these, yeah, exactly. Like the baby killer decider. They're like, we should kill these things. They're very scary. They are growing up very fast, and she's like, no, don't kill them. We can teach them to love. And so they're like, fine, whatever. Even though all of them except her want to take out these creatures, she is like, no. And she raises them and is teaching them. And like she teaches them about like man's folly. But then she also teaches them about how like, you got to be good in the world. That she's teaching them about how like nature grows and changes and thrives, and you know we as humans have the innate desire to live, and so that's why we fling spaceships out with a bunch of people in them into space, because we want to live. And so they are learning all of this, you know, philosophy from her and from the rest of the crew members.
Do they know that they're different?
Yeah, they know immediately. Yeah, remember they were going to murder them as
No,
babies.
I mean, like, do the
the
babies
kiddos.
know?
Oh,
that
they
are
also know
different?
that they're different.
Okay.
Yes. They're far more intelligent than humans are as well, on top
Oh.
of everything else.
Okay, good. That's
So-
not terrifying.
So yeah.
Dangerous.
So not only do they like grow to their prime and stay that way for hundreds of years, but they're also way smarter. The plants are implied to be kind of a step up from humanity wise,
Which is why we imprisoned them.
which is why we put them in batteries and have them like power our cars and stuff. But these 2 babies are going to be given the name Vash and Knives, which is his name is
How did
his
Rem
name-
let that happen?
Rem got to name Vash, and then the other
Vash.
ones were like,
that does kind of happen because Vash becomes kind of a mama's boy for Rem. He really likes her, and Rem has a tragic backstory where like she loved a man, but he died, and she's like trying to honor his legacy by like doing all this good stuff for humanity, and that's why she's all like peace and love, and she's like, oh, you remind me of my dead lover in a way. And so I love you. So, but she's like adopted him as like a son.
Okay.
she adopts both of them as like a son. Although Knives kind of rubs against these teachings that she's trying to do, and he is
because they named
learning
him
more
Knives.
he's learning more from the rest of the crew. Let's meet the rest of the crew a little bit. I hope these are all, you know how like when you have to become an astronaut, they have to like choose the most like cool under pressure, like totally with it people.
Which we did. Yeah.
First off, we have Steve. Steve is like their mechanic, I think. They always tell him that he needs to fix the plant stuff. He is a drunk and he is a misogynist to the other women.
They brought
so
alcohol on this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's all of humanity.
Listen,
You're
if
gonna not have
humanity's
alcohol.
gonna survive, we need alcohol.
So Steve's a fucking mess. He's constantly like feeling up Mary. And it's gross. He's a gross dude.
Down with Steve.
Steve sucks. There's Rowan, who's that dweeby science guy. He hates Steve because he loves Mary also. And he is very clingy about it.
Oh, no.
We'll see.
Poor Mary.
Hopefully that doesn't. Well, Mary is getting a lot of this on, but then we see in the privacy of her room, she's like, "Oh, those boys, they're so annoying, but I guess I would be really bored if I didn't have all these boys fighting over me." So she is like secretly an attention whore. She kind of likes it. So she doesn't have
on humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best of us.
There is
this ship.
That's what I'm saying. There is Rem, who is just like a hippie lady.
I like Rem so far.
She's pretty calm and cool with it. She does also kind of have a real like Christian girl vibe to her. Like she is like, do you think like God is out there in the universe laughing at us little humans trying to survive? Oh, but we must. Oh, the angels in heaven are watching over us. Blah blah blah. And then there's Joey, who's the captain. He tries to do a good job, but he is just a very unsure of himself kind of dude.
Exactly what you want for a captain.
Yeah, right.
He's like always unsure, and like he's like, maybe we're making the bad choices here. It's just like, Captain, please.
So they have a bunch of people on the ship, and these are the 5 people they choose.
These are the best of the best. These are Joey's hand-picked crew.
So
this is not looking good.
I picked these guys, and now I'm maybe feeling like I could have chose somebody else. You know, there was Carl over there who
he's got an engineering degree, and he's pretty cool. He's pretty chill.
He doesn't feel up women against their will. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know. He rubbed me the wrong way, so I went with Steve.
So Steve is also the one, by the way, who is like, these 2 kids are monsters. We should kill them.
Of course he is.
He hates them. He gets drunk and he like punches them around and like, he beats them up and stuff like that. Real bad dude. But now we're going to hit one more point in this, like, again, this is all like flashback stuff, but while Rem, this is sort of going to be the crux, the argument, the theme of this whole anime is going to be kind of represented in this little scene that they have, where Vash and Knives are still kind of in young boy times, and Rem is teaching them, and they have like a recreational room that is just like, it's like a park basically, because they're in space, and they just want to have like a room where it's like, they've got like grass and trees, and like there's nature. There's like a little bit of nature in there and stuff. And there is a spider who has made a web, and there's a butterfly trapped in the web. And the 2 boys are watching this unfold as the spider is like closing in on the butterfly, and like Rem is like watching both of them. And Vash is like getting concerned because he's like, the butterfly's gonna die. He wants to free the butterfly from the web, but before he can do so, Knives reaches out and smashes the spider in his hand. And Vash is like, "Why would you do that, Knives?" And he's like, "You wanted to save the butterfly, right? This was the best way to save the butterfly." And he's like, "I wanted to save both of them." But he's like, "But don't you see, if you save the butterfly, then the spider dies anyway." because he has nothing to eat. So this is just the best way to do it. And this is when Rem is like, it shouldn't be up to you. It shouldn't be up to you, Knives, to decide who is deserving of death. And he's like, that doesn't make sense. The thing I said was the more logical thing. And Vash is like really angry at him. He's like, I wanted to save both of them. So we're getting this. We're seeing their personalities as they're going to play out through the rest of the
really,
anime.
really good direct analogy.
Yeah.
I like
It
that.
is, and it's like the thing that makes this really good. I really like Trigun, by the way. A lot of people do. But the thing that makes this really good is that they are both kind of right. Like you do have this urge to want to save everything, but also, you know, the nature of the spider is to eat
the circle
butterflies.
Of life.
Right. So there is like a lot of conflict there. It obviously is a little easier to parse out when it's a small scale nature thing like that, as opposed to whether humans deserve to die or not. But we'll get there. So,
it's baby steps. You got to learn with the bugs.
yeah,
so
exactly. You
We're
have to
always-
learn.
we're always
You have to
taking
learn
our-
baby mortality.
Our
before
baby
you-
steps towards should humanity be wiped out or not.
Okay.
Okay, good.
So obviously, just to wrap up all this backstory stuff, Knives is now perceiving the crew in general, but now kind of all of humanity as this like parasite, this spider thing that just consumes everything, uses, and specifically he is like, they are enslaving the plants and abusing the plants.
Yeah.
They don't go too far into it in the anime, but in the manga, there were, like I said, other independents, and the crew did not spare them. They did a bunch of science stuff on them. And basically ended up killing this other girl that they ended up calling their older sister. But they kind of see the plants as their family, even though they're not really the same thing, but they are like kind of from them. So, and their
Can they,
physiology is different. They're definitely not
Communicate
humans.
in any way or anything?
Yes, they can. They have like a psychic connection that they can have with the plants, which comes in handy because a lot of the like plant repair stuff is actually like placating these creatures that are inside of it.
And we have
which they
Steve
can do.
on that job?
Yeah.
That doesn't
it's
make
crazy.
any sense.
He's pretty good at it. They say, I am sad because I'm enslaved. And he said, shut up.
You shut up. I gotta say, I did read a few like fan theories on here, and for the most part, I think fan theories are really stupid, especially when it comes to stuff like this. I did read one here that I thought was not like accurate, but I thought was really funny, and they were like, what if Vash and Knives, what if Steve is their dad because he got drunk and then got frisky with one of the plants?
I don't like that at all.
No. Oh, no. CJ, why did you put that into our head?
I just thought, that's not what happened, but I thought that was funny. Okay. So Knives is like, I'm gonna kill the humans. I think that humans are worse than plants. I think that plants deserve to exist. I think that letting humans spread out through the universe would be like purposefully spreading a plague. And I'm not gonna let it happen. So I'm going to kill everybody. And I'm first gonna do it by making this crew implode on itself, which is actually very easy because they're all very flawed people.
I was going to say, I don't know that he has to do anything to make that happen. Sort of seems like it'll happen on its own.
What he does is he manipulates Mary and Rowan to be like, hey, we all hate Steve. He's an asshole. Joey won't put him away. Let's make up a story and say that he did a sexual crime to Mary. And then the captain will have no choice.
To be clear, he was already kind of doing, but let's say we made a big sexual
a capital offense. She, the kinds of stuff that gets you kicked off of YouTube. And she's like, okay, I will lie and say that he did this to me because he's an asshole. And so he was like, so the captain is like, okay, we're going to freeze you again. And then when we get where we're going, we'll thaw you out and you'll do crime time and all that other stuff. And he's like, no, I didn't do it. I was just drunk. I never did that.
That's
and
never a
Rem
good
is
excuse. I was just
Yeah,
drunk.
that's not a-
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
But Rem is like, we didn't even hear his side of the story, and they're like, nope, we're gonna freeze him. Then we figure out that Rowan rigged his freezing chamber so that instead of freezing him, it kills him because Rowan fucking hates Steve.
Okay.
And
'Cause I was
Mary
gonna say freezing him doesn't seem that bad. Like everyone else on
No,
the ship
well,
is
they're-
gonna be frozen.
Yeah, but it's basically like, well, we'll thaw you out and put you in jail or whatever because we don't want an R word on our spaceship, but we're not gonna like jettison you out into space. We're gonna make you pay the crime.
You pay the crime, you time the time.
That's what they always say. So Rowan is like, haha, I killed Steve. Isn't that awesome, Mary? Now we can be together because I love you and you said you loved me. And she's like, I didn't want to kill Steve. I just wanted him out of here. And then he was like, well, now we're accomplices, so you have to do it. And she's like, I'm going to tell everybody that this was all a lie. And he's like, oh, I wish you would have just loved me, Mary. Now I have to shoot you in the head. So he shoots
Rowan.
So
So he
shoots
didn't
Mary.
really love her at all.
So he shoots
Sam,
Mary.
wait. I gotta know
he loved
Sammy's...
her to death.
Whoa.
No.
Sammy, you say you don't love man. He pull gun out on you. Are you like, well, now maybe I changed my mind?
That's a very convincing, very convincing argument. That's just, these people all suck. I'm kind of on Knives' side. Why not?
Yeah,
I'd kill
exactly.
them all.
You're kind of like, these people are really bad. So Rem and the boys come to discover that Rowan has like killed Mary, and he's like, also Steve is dead. I killed him. And then he looks at Knives and he's like, oh, you were behind this, you little bastard. I'm gonna shoot you. And
Knives
Rem's
didn't
like,
make
no,
them
you
do anything.
Right.
They did this themselves.
he did. It's implied he did something in the background. He was like manipulating
He probably was
them,
like,
but...
here's an idea, and everyone was like, yeah, that
They were
actually
like, yeah,
just
let's do it.
speeds up what I was thinking
that
about.
slaps. Yeah, I mean, it really is probably like that. But he wants to shoot. He wants to shoot Knives, and Rem is like, no, it's like shielding him, and the captain Joey is looking at them over a monitor that he turned on, and he is like, he's gonna shoot Rem. The captain opens up the airlock and flings out Rowan into space, and he's dead now.
Just
And-
Rowan?
Yeah, it was a really tactical airlock
Tactical
opening.
airlock.
And Rem is like angry. Rem's like, why did you do that? You killed him. And he was like, he was gonna shoot you, Rem. And she's like, no. And so like Vash
She's
is like
well,
sad.
But if he didn't shoot me, he would have starved to death.
Right. Exactly. And so Joey is like, oh, I don't know if that was the right decision. And then
God.
Knives is like, no, Captain, I think you made the perfect decision. And then Knives kills him.
Oh no!
And so Knives
This all
has...
escalated so quickly.
it really falls apart quick. Knives takes over the ship, and he is going to plunge the rockets that contain the humans into the planet, destroying it and just like blowing up. And he's going to take the parts of the ship with the plants on them, and he's going to land them on the planet, and they are going to make a paradise for the plants.
Can the plants exist like independent, or do they need
We don't
humans?
super know that much about
Okay.
the plants. We also know that Knives also uses plants as like energy sources too. So I think it's more of a like, they just do that. They just give off this energy. It's not like they're being abused necessarily, but like he wants to take good care of them.
The abuse is
And-
just for fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It's implied that you can like tax them by putting more of a load onto them or whatever. So maybe
or
there's,
making
like,
them have to
like-
deal with Steve?
Yeah, exactly. So they're like, okay. They're crashing the ship. Knives is like, Vash, isn't this great? I'm gonna kill all the humans, and plants are gonna live. And I saved you Rem because I know you really like Rem. So I figured, since you're my brother and I love you, I'll let you keep your like lady friend.
That's
and he's like,
thoughtful.
I mean, he's being as nice as he can be, I think, given the circumstances. But Vash is like, no, that's crazy. Rem's like, Vash, you need to take care of your brother. I'm going to sacrifice myself to save humanity, and I'm going to send you boys in a shuttle pod, to the planet. And she stays behind, sends the boys away. This is when Knives is like, this was all my plan. I was going to even let Rem live, but she decided to sacrifice herself like a fucking stupid idiot. And Vash is like, I can't believe you did this. You killed everybody. And he's like, no, Vash, I did this for us. We're good, close brothers. We love each other. Rem stays behind. She is able to save humanity by redirecting the landing sequence. So now all of the ships are just going to land instead of smashing the planet and exploding. And so what happens next is that despite this planet being not ideal for humanity, a bunch of the humans land and begin to create civilization fresh from the supplies that were left behind by the ship, which includes the plants. So all cities are kind of built around a plant, which provides them with electricity and also like food and water and stuff. So these plants become like the hubs that civilization needs to like be able to exist around. But they're all pretty split out, and they've decided as a group to embrace the sort of Western aesthetic. So they're all doing like cowboys and stuff.
Good. I'm glad that they had a discussion and they were like, what's our vibe gonna be, okay?
So
they also
the readings say this planet is Gunsmoke, and I think that's rad. Let's go with that.
They also are they also embrace like transhumanism. So there's a lot of like augmentations and stuff that they are able to do to people to make them more robot-y or to give them special powers and all this other stuff. So that happens 130. That crash happens 130 years before the rest of the story. It is
did
when
Rem survive,
Vash,
or did she die?
Rem
somehow?
did not survive. She died sacrificing herself for everybody.
I don't
and so
know
Vash,
how that happened.
Right? Yeah, I have been wondering.
Seemed like
what,
she just changed the landing
she had
sequence
to like
and then she
stay
could just hang
on
out
the,
there.
I don't know. She had to like stay on the ship, and she like spent all of her time redirecting the other ships to land instead, and so her own ship blew up or whatever. I don't know. It's
Okay, so she was
she was
somewhere else. She was not with the other humans.
She was not
Okay.
in the she was not in the other ship. She was in the like control module thing.
Okay.
Um
So we have a bunch of humans.
So-
We also Vash and Knives are on this planet.
Yes,
Mhm.
fashion knives are on the planet. The plants are on the planet, and the humans, a bunch of them are on the planet. There are in the manga they show like there's a lot of people still frozen. They don't go into that as much in the anime, but like for the most part, a bunch of people are waking up and restarting civilization. So
And they don't know any of the drama that just happened with the
they
plant babies
basically
or
don't know
anything.
anything about it. All they know is that they are just like on this planet now. And it's only been 130 years, so there's no one in like living memory really.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a few generations down the line, so all these people are like, this is just life is on Gunsmoke. So that happened originally, and then after that, the boys are like going through seeing humanity kind of coming together and creating these cities. They're all named after months. So like there's a city called July, there's a city called Augustus. That's just
Okay.
the theming of the show.
Not
Yeah,
really themed to the
Japan-
Western idea they had
Like-
decided on, though.
Manga artists do not like naming things. They
True.
love to just pick a convention and then go with it.
Yeah.
And there's
Yep.
this sort of, I don't know, months of the year. That's fine. Whatever. I hate naming cities.
Yeah, it's exactly that. They are so they're like walking around seeing the humans. At this point, Knives creates 2 pistols, 2 guns. And he puts inside of them a little, they don't really explain it too much, but it's this like little capsule. It's implied to be like some kind of plant thing. And as we know, plants give off a crazy amount of energy. And so the gun is mostly a gun, but in the hands of Vash or Knives, the gun will activate an ability that is inherent to their plant powers that allows them to turn one of their whole arms into a big laser beam. And they call it the angel arm.
I was really trying to like guess where you were going. Like, oh, this capsule in the gun is gonna make it like more powerful. Maybe like a bullet comes out that does.
I mean, it does make it more
really was not
powerful.
expecting it to become a part of their arm and it becomes a laser.
They do also seem to be able to shoot a big laser out of it every once in a while. Vash never does this because he's mostly a pacifist, but Knives does it. He like just blows up a city or whatever, and he's like, "Look at how powerful this is." And that's when Vash is like, "You're a monster. You suck, and you made these crazy weapons." And he's like, "I made you one too, Vash, because we're brothers, and I love
wow,
you."
Vash really loves, or Knives really loves Vash.
He does. He really does. They are like brothers. And so Vash takes his gun, and seeing this like war crime that his brother did, he shoots his brother in the leg. And this makes Knives like insane. He is like, "You shot me? You shot me?" And he like doesn't know what pain is or like being shot feels like because he's like freaking out. He's like, "My leg hurts so much. You shot me."
That
and
would
Vash
happen
is like,
to me too if I got it.
yeah, fair enough. You've never been shot in the leg before?
Yeah, I'd be like, what the heck? It hurts so bad.
I didn't think things could hurt this bad. And so Vash is like, he's freaking out. He takes Knives' gun. So now he has both guns and he runs away. He doesn't want Knives to have either of these. And so he just wanders around for like 80 years, kind of just checking in on the humans and trying to be like a protector figure. And meanwhile, his brother is recuperating and is got his own plans in the background. But there's these two crazy powerful guns now.
I feel like we're short one gun. Based on the title of the show.
Exactly. That's the other thing is like, are these the Triguns? Not really.
Should be called Bygun.
We'll get more guns.
That doesn't sound as good though.
Yeah. So also, I didn't mention this before. I don't know if his name was always this or if he just takes on this name later on. But Knives' whole name is Millions Knives.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's rad.
So it's just so you know.
Does Vash have a whole name?
Yes.
He is known as Vash the Stampede.
Okay.
Later, he doesn't have
sounds
this.
Cool.
He doesn't have this name yet, but he is called the Humanoid Typhoon.
Those are very violent for what Vash seems to be trying to
Correct.
stand for.
Well,
I
so
guess
as we'll
shooting
see,
his brother will change a man.
we're now 23 years before the main story.
Okay.
Vash has discovered that a relative of Rem woke up from the cryosleep, and he wants to talk to him. To be like, "Oh, I know about Rem. I loved her. She died saving humanity, all that stuff."
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He goes to find this guy, and Knives already found this guy. He's like, "I knew you would come and see the relative of
I mean, yeah, that's
Rem."
right.
Yeah.
You were right.
He was right, yeah. And so the guy that he came to see, Knives already killed him. And he's like, "Look, I killed this guy. This was the last remaining link between you and Rem. Now you can finally just like be my brother. We can like get
Knives
rid of
really
these
does
humans.
not
Let's
get
stop.
it, huh?
He's like, we gotta stop. We gotta just get rid of these humans, and I want you to be with me, brother, because we're so close. And he's like, I don't want that. And Knives is like, look at you. At this point, Vash is like all beat up. Like he's got crazy scars and stuff all over his body because he refuses to attack people. He only
Only his
wants
brother.
to defend people. Yeah, except his brother that one time.
He felt pretty bad about that one.
Vash is always like paying a hefty physical price for his pacifism. And so Knives is like, look at you, you're all beat up because you're putting all this effort into saving humans instead of like healing yourself. You could be healing yourself. You could be getting more powerful. And as he says this, he like flicks his fingers, and the gun that Vash has like pops open, and you see the like little capsule that's on the inside. It starts glowing, and it activates Vash's angel arm. So Knives has the ability to like force Vash into this angel arm thing. And when he does it, there's just this huge amount of power that builds up, and it like has to go somewhere. So Vash then is like pointing his angel arm at Knives, and he's like, you're pointing your gun at me again? I can't believe you're pointing your gun at me again. And Vash like sends the laser off mostly into space, although it's so powerful that it also destroys the city of July.
Oh no.
Everyone assumes that it is the reactor that explodes in July, the plant reactor. Because, as we learn, plants are also kind of allegorical with like nuclear reactors in that they have an intense amount of power, but as a plant reaches the end of its life, it has the potential to like explode or send a bunch of its residual power just like all over the place. So they're very dangerous to like dispose of, get rid of as well. And so everyone assumes that there was a plant malfunction or like something bad happens. In fact, what
Which
they
is
end up
kinda
assuming, it is kind of true. It's the same energy. And so what they end up actually assuming is that Vash like sabotaged the plant and made it explode, because in the anime, although the entire town is destroyed, there's not one single casualty. Nobody dies.
How? It was like
Unknown.
it was like a
someone said
field
someone
trip day.
against
Everyone was
someone everyone was
town.
gone. Someone said that Vash's angel arm can't hurt people. It can only destroy things. I don't think that's true. I think he just redirected it, and it just like exploded all their infrastructure, which again, without that plant, they can't survive anyway. So although everyone survived this explosion, the town like fell apart. It became like humans fighting humans. It was incredible violence against each other. So like even though Vash tried to save everybody, he didn't technically kill them all, but his actions in a way kind of led to all these people like turning on each other and going to their base instincts, which is kind of what Knives wanted. He's like, look, Vash, this is what these guys are.
Yeah, it's way easier to just let humans kill themselves
yeah,
than
right.
to try to like enact some kind
Yeah,
of
it does really feel like Knives could maybe just be, you know, a little more patient, and things would kind of work
These guys
themselves
won't
out.
Yeah, but they're like torturing plants now, I guess is the idea, but
Sure.
whatever. And so Knives is like mortally wounded in this whole thing. Vash did like shoot him at least a little bit. We will discover he will survive. But I think Vash thinks he's dead, or at least he like is like, well, Knives won't be a problem anymore, whatever. So he kind of goes underground, Knives does, and he has to start like doing things from the shadows a bit because his like physical body is all messed up right now. He needs to regenerate over many years. And so that's where we kind of come into the main part of the anime. That was all backstory.
Yeah, we're starting the show now.
Yeah, we actually get to like the beginning of the show. We see that Vash has a $10 billion double dollar bounty. Is
that high? I don't know what the currency
that's
is.
The
like
highest. That's the highest
it's-
bounty there's ever been.
It is roughly twice as much as $10 billion.
Oh, okay.
They are. We need to have like a running list of like currencies that we talk about. This is one of my favorite currencies.
The double dollar is really
double
good.
dollars are an amazing way to do commerce.
I feel like rather we should adopt the double dollar. Like
that'll be the next economic thing, that like our economy not doing so good right now. So we're going to make every dollar the double dollar. That's right. Everyone has double the money. And everyone will be
Problem
like, yay!
everything costs roughly 2.5 times as much, by the way.
Yeah, basically. The conversion rate is actually like, it takes a little more than $2 to get a double dollar.
But it sounds cool.
It does sound really cool. There's that, and then there's the berries in One Piece, which is also very good. I want to have a running list for different currencies we use, and then I want to have a running list of characters that have killed the dinosaurs, like either on purpose or on accident.
I do love that.
That's good.
Because we have a lot. If you have a character that has killed the dinosaurs in media, put it in the comments below. Because so far we know that Zordon did in the Power Rangers. Aku does in Samurai Jack. There are others. I assure you.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
We do not have said list, but
Yeah, we're working on it. We are now in the planet of Gunsmoke. We have a bunch of kind of Western towns that are built around these cyberpunk future power generators that look like giant light bulbs that contain plants. You don't know that until way later in the anime, but we know that now.
Because we're better. We know everything.
Yeah, exactly. We have our protagonist, Vash the Stampede, and nobody really knows what he looks like. He
looks so iconic. Like
I know.
he's very
You see
iconic.
him once, you would never forget.
Right. He does not blend in at all.
All they know is that he has spiky hair and wears a red coat. He is often impersonated by other outlaws who want to get his clout.
Want to be
there are a lot of outlaws.
$10 billion dollars.
Yeah, there are a lot of outlaws. He gets based on what happened in July. He gets the moniker.
Keep saying, 3 months ago.
No, the city July. He gets the moniker Vash the Stampede, the humanoid typhoon. He is known for causing devastation wherever he goes.
Is this
that's
just
weird.
because
I thought
of
he was
the
a pacifist.
laser explosion?
It's not just because of that. As we see throughout the anime, again, there's this theme of like humans being their own downfall. Because Vash has a like $10 billion double dollar bounty on his head, everybody goes crazy to try and kill him. And so they usually end up destroying whatever town they're in an attempt to like get this guy. Like townspeople will accidentally destroy their own town trying to chase this guy down. And he is trying to like keep everybody safe. He always is able to protect people, but it's like the town is destroyed. And so that's why he has the nickname, the humanoid typhoon, because wherever he goes, things are just like exploding, but it's usually because people are trying to get him.
Right.
Wow, that really sucks for him.
Yeah, it's a real comedy of errors. But everybody has cool names along the way.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one of the groups that is trying to get him is like a mercenary gang called the Gung Ho Guns.
The Gung Ho Guns are the main antagonists.
Incredible.
There's like the Nebraska family.
Nebraska
they
exists?
less good.
They really leaned into like the whole Wild West thing. It's crazy.
How do they even know about Nebraska? They're
Because
on
they
a
have
different planet.
they know about the old tech, and they have some like
They have like old maps of the
have some
United
knowledge.
States.
Yeah.
Right.
They have like
I-
databases. They have like computers and stuff.
I love the idea that to them they're like this is an ancient name, like the Olympians, the Nebraska family.
Nebraska. I think that it's a little unclear their relationship with like Old Earth. In the manga, Old Earth not only exists, but they eventually contact Earth with an SOS beacon, being like, our ship crashed on this land. Can you send help? And then there's this whole thing where Knives like destroys the satellite that has the beacon on it, so that he's like, nope, now you're trapped here. In the anime, they don't like reference Old Earth at all. It's assumed that they must know some stuff about it because, again, the people who were in the ships weren't just like babies; they were just like people who were frozen. So they still reference Old Earth stuff, but they don't talk about it a lot. It's like
classics like
right.
Nebraska.
They're not doing great though.
But like sensationally at this point, nobody knows what Old Earth like felt like, or like they never knew what like a green planet was. Because at this point, everyone who would have been in the original ship, unless I think there's like people who wake up every once in a while from the cryo sleep, but for the most part, these are all like generational people from the original people who woke up. So Vash is kind of from the perspective of the cities. Vash is like causing all of this property damage. And what do you do when you have this guy that's causing a bunch of property damage, Sammy?
You sue him.
You send a couple insurance adjusters after him to be like, hey, can you stop?
You were so close, Sammy.
You were really close. This is where the insurance girls come in. These are our next two main characters. They are Millie, who is a large lady. She's kind of a farm girl. And she carries a huge Gatling gun that shoots non-lethal like iron crosses that just is supposed to like knock people over.
What?
Even though it's been shown to like knock over like trucks and like crash through buildings and stuff.
That would kill a person.
But she's
non-lethally.
She's one of my favorite characters. But she does not. She also doesn't believe in violence. But she's an insurance adjuster. She's not like an outlaw or anything. But she is called Gatling Gun Millie because of her big Gatling gun.
Being
and
a pacifist with a big Gatling gun is just really good to me.
It's also, the gun is like, it weighs like hundreds of pounds, and she just like lifts it because she's like a strong farm girl.
We love powerful women.
We do. And then there's Meryl. Meryl is it's the cartoon thing where you have like one like giant character, and then she is like a kind of smaller lady. And she I think she's called Derringer Meryl. She has many, instead of having one big gun, many tiny guns. And that shoot like one bullet. So she literally like takes out a gun and then she throws the gun away and pulls out another gun.
Incredible.
But they're the insurance girls. They have been sent by the Maridelli Insurance Company to track down Vash the Stampede and to ask him if he will stop exploding stuff. Because people keep claiming a bunch of property damages from Vash the Stampede, and the insurance company has to pay them. So there's this whole thing where they're like looking for him. They don't know who he is because, again, it's like nobody really knows exactly what he looks like. The only thing they have to go on is he has spiky hair and wears a red coat, which
it seems like Vash should just like shave his head and get a new wardrobe, and then he could just reinvent himself. and not
Well,
be.
well, Sammy, he wears red for the same reason that Deadpool does, because he doesn't want people to see all the blood that comes out of him during his gunfights. And he doesn't want to change his hair because Rem gave him that haircut, and she said that it made him look like the guy that she loved, and so he keeps his hair like that forever because of her.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sweet,
so
but
there
also
is a
seems
reason.
like it's-
So there is a reason he does those things.
But
Perhaps-
it's leading to
perhaps
the
a hat.
destruction of everything.
He also does go
Yeah, a hat
incognito
would
for.
be good.
He does go he also's got the most like crazy sunglasses ever, which like nobody identifies him by that. But he also does go incognito for a while, where he just wears a regular brown coat and lets his hair grow out and get long.
Okay. So he does do.
So he
an
does do it
idea
at
that-
some point.
okay.
Yeah. But no one really believes him because he's really goofy. He's like a silly guy. He's always like, I don't believe in violence. And they're like, oh, well, we do. And he's like, ah! And he's like running around just like avoiding everything. It's revealed that he is literally dodging bullets because he's looking at where the guns are pointing, and he's like dodging before they pull the trigger, because he has like lightning fast reflexes from being a plant.
Right.
So
But
he
yeah,
actually
That's
he
cool.
can dodge bullets.
Yeah, but yeah, so even though he like super fits the description of Vash, whenever anyone hears him talk, they're like, well, it couldn't be that guy.
It's not this guy. He does
that's
the
a good
anime thing where
defense
they
mechanism.
usually find him. Yeah. They usually find him and he's like, oh, I'm so hungry. And the insurance girls are like, we have donuts for Vash the Stampede. And he's like, I'm Vash the Stampede. And they're like, no, you're not. That's crazy. You're just a goofy guy. You just want donuts. And he's like, no, I am Vash the Stampede.
Why would they have donuts for him?
Because again, they were sent by their company to like
the-
talk to him.
The
Just be
ultimate
like, please
negotiation tool.
Yeah. That's
That's true. It
actually
would
the
work on
case.
me.
But they eventually realize that, like, oh wow, this guy actually is Vash the Stampede. He's like a crazy. He uses his gunslinging skills to save a town every once in a while. Another theory why it's called Trigun. People say that. I will say it's called Trigun because there's a lot of themes of threes in this one.
Except
I
for
don't
the
think it's like
actual
one specific
gun.
thing. So we haven't met the third gun yet, but maybe we will.
Okay. Okay.
But the one thing is that people are saying that the Tri refers to, usually in the conflict there is the antagonists, which are some sort of bad guy gang. There's the protagonist, which is usually Vash and his buddies, and then there's the townsfolk who are kind of caught up in all the middle of it, because the townsfolk end up being like, they're never just like passive. There's the like coming into the communities and stuff like that. They're either like really nice to Vash because they're like, we love this guy, he's so sweet and
He's
he
so
wants to just
goofy.
protect these people. But then when they're like, you are Vash the Stampede, you are worth like $10 billion, and our town
$10
just
billion
got
double dollars
Double
even.
dollars.
CJ.
and they're like, our town just got destroyed by all these bandits. If we bring you in, we can afford to like save our town. Usually it's like, we need a new plant, or we need plant repairs or stuff like that, because these are all supposed to be like little rim world towns. So they're always kind of in conflict of like, they really like this guy but they like need him for stuff, or it goes the opposite way where they're like, they want to get this guy at the beginning, and then over time he like shows them that that he's a nice guy. And so there is a lot of like genuine nuance in how these people are acting, because again, they're like just trying to survive, but that is making them make bad, evil decisions sometimes. And Vash believes in humanity though the whole time. He's like, I know that it's all about peace and love, baby. Eventually humans are gonna realize that.
Rem really stuck with him.
Yeah.
Even after
Yeah,
like
I mean-
100 and whatever years.
He is like, he believes that by living out these virtues, he is keeping Rem alive in his heart. By like doing the things that she talked about, he is like keeping her memory alive. And so he is like brought it upon himself to be like, I will never take the spark of life. I will only ever help people. I'll whatever self-sacrifice I need to do, I will do it to keep humanity safe, because that's what Rem would have
Except
wanted.
for I won't cut my hair to
No.
make it so that people won't identify me and then go crazy and hurt each
Well,
other.
it also is like so many people are just claiming to be Vash the Stampede anyway. It's kind of like, well, what are you gonna do?
At that point, yeah.
Yeah. We get sort of the episodic anime thing. He goes around, he's helping people. There's an instance where there's like a plant that's going to be destroyed. He is able to commune with the plant because the plant is like reaching the end of its life, and he's able to like calm it down. So instead of doing this big explosion at the end of its life, it just kind of goes back into its operation. The plants, again, really ambiguous. There's a little more about them in the anime. It's kind of implied that they're like a big battery. They have sort of a amount of energy that they can expend. And they regenerate it a little bit at a certain rate, but they also, once it's all kind of spent up, then they die. Because Vash and Knives are also plants, they also kind of have this reserve of energy. In the animes, your energy level is determined by your hair. So as you both Knives and Vash are blondes, but then as they use up their energy, their hair gets darker until it's like completely black. So you can, in the animes or in the mangas, you could see like how much power Vash has left based on how dark his hair is.
That's pretty fun.
Incredible. That's a good decision.
But then they also seem to be able to regenerate it. Whereas
Yeah,
I think the plants,
After a long
I think the
rest or
plants,
something.
yeah, exactly.
You sit in the sun for a while.
Right. Whereas the plants in the power generators, they seem to just like reach the end of their life, and then sometimes they explode. But like Vash saves a city from an exploding plant. He travels around. At one point he is going to get manipulated again into having his angel arm going off again. And he is very scared about hurting people. In that instance, again, he's able to redirect the blast and shoot it up into space, where it impacts one of the 5 moons, and creates a big crater in the moon, which everyone can see. And
Cool.
everyone is like, Vash can blow a hole in the moon? That's insane.
The anime list of blew a hole in the moon would be shorter, but it would still be a
It
list.
would still exist. I mean, we have Akira, and we have Vash the Stampede, and we have the Todd, one of Ramona's evil exes from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Assassination High School, which we haven't done, but it's another
They blow
just
on the moon.
they done blow up the moon.
Eggman blows up the moon in Sonic. He blows up
Someone
half
write
the
this
moon.
down.
He blows up half the moon. And so at that point, the insurance company has legally declared Vash the Stampede as a literal disaster. He's the only human disaster, and so they are basically said, we are not paying out insurance on anything related to Vash the Stampede anymore, because he is considered just like an act of God. And so that's
okay.
That's kind
Why
of the end of Vash having a bounty, but like everyone like hates him now because of what's known as the 5th moon incident, where he just like blew up a moon.
And they
like,
really all
scared of him.
cared about that moon so much. They were like, how dare
And then
you?
that's when he goes undercover.
Our tidal effects. Oh no.
And all the
That's-
water that isn't on this planet.
Yeah. That's when he goes undercover, and like lays low for a while, and he's like, Vash Stampede is no more. He needs a guy to get him out of retirement. And who's gonna do that but his closest buddy, who I haven't mentioned yet, but he's been here for a long time. He is Nicholas D. Wolfwood.
Wolfwood. That's
Yeah.
good.
He
pretty good.
is quite a character. Vash meets him pretty early on in the series.
And you've been
he is-
withholding him from us.
It's true, because he hasn't really been that relevant until now. And he has a lot to talk about, and I want to just do it all at once instead of sprinkling it through. Wolfwood is a traveling priest. He is a holy man. He carries with him a very large cross, a literal cross that is like,
It's his cross to bear.
It literally is. It is taller. It's taller than he is. But he is a traveling priest, and he's like trying to get money for his orphanage that he that he helps support. But he crosses paths with Vash. It's one of those things where they're not really traveling together, but they keep crossing paths all the time. What the hell's up with this? Wolfwood believes that humans are inherently fairly evil, and that there's not it's not worth fighting it most of the time.
That's an interesting approach for a priest to take.
He is constantly like, I want to atone for my sins, but I just don't think it's possible. I'm going to do my best, but like I think at the end of the day, humanity's pretty much doomed.
Is he a Christian priest?
He is. He's a Catholic priest.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, that's just realism, you know.
Yeah. he is certainly jaded by reality. And he is constantly bumping with Vash because he thinks you should be able to kill to defend people. Like if there are gunslingers who are shooting at you, you gotta shoot back. Vash does shoot people, but it's always non-lethal because he's such a good gunslinger. He can like pinpoint non-lethal areas, which makes the gunfights more fair. It's one of those things where it's like if he would just go all out and like shoot people in the head, it would be easier for him technically. But the fact that he's like positioning weirdly to try and get them into spots to like non-lethally take them down, it makes it much more difficult for him, even though he is much better at all this than everybody. He and Wolfwood are constantly like going back and forth. They have a respect for each other, but they are oftentimes like confused by each other. He's like, "Why don't you just shoot these guys? You're clearly good enough to just like take them out." And he's like, "I won't do it. I won't hurt anybody like that." And he's like, "You have to. You can't say you're gonna save everybody and then just get completely blown apart." And he's like, "I'm just gonna do the best I can." We learn way later, but Wolfwood is not a regular priest. The sins that he
I had already guessed
pretty
that.
early on, yeah.
I'm gonna say I already guessed that one.
The sins that he seeks redemption for are the fact that he is part of a secret organization called the Eyes of Michael. The Eyes of Michael are a bunch of cultists who worship Million's knives.
Oh.
That's right. He's been hiding in secret.
How do they get Michael?
It's angelic.
Million's knives.
Michael is one of the archangels.
So okay, they're just like ascribing.
So
to him.
they're worshiping him like he is like a deity.
Okay.
They think that the plants are like actual angels. And they do a bunch of experiments on humans to turn them into superhumans. Wolfwood was like an orphan or something, and they took him in and they did all these experiments on him, and they turned him into like a super soldier guy. And his cross, Sammy, is not a cross. It's a big gun. It opens up into a gun.
That's good.
It also
opens
contains
up into like multiple guns.
It also contains other smaller guns.
I think one side of it is a rocket launcher, if I remember right.
The long end is a machine gun. The short end is a rocket launcher at the top, and then the two sides are they just open up compartments for more guns, for more smaller guns.
Yeah,
he can also use the whole thing as like cover. So he'll like smash the cross into the ground and then just like hide behind it while people are shooting at him.
That's so cool. That's so rad.
It really is really cool.
This guy's my favorite character now.
This is potentially the Trigun. Because A, it's a big cross, and B, it's also the third gun. So whereas Knives and Vash have their special guns, this is also a special gun, and Wolfwood is like an integral character. It's actually crazy I left him out this long, but as we'll see,
I was weirded out. I was like,
as we'll see, I'm going to weave it into how the story is going to keep going. So he
was experimented on. But his superpower is just that he has this big cool cross gun thing, or does he have other?
I mean,
no, he also has like enhanced strength and speed and reflexes and stuff.
That's how he can carry around giant cross gun.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So he's like generally the same as Vash, like, you know, super accurate, like super gunslinger guy.
I believe in the I believe in the manga, he was actually sent by Millions Knives to go and keep an eye on Vash, which is why he like constantly shows up and is like crossing paths with him. It's like that's his like mission, is to stick by Vash.
Wow, Knives even still cares about his brother this whole time.
Yeah, he still wants to like turn him and be like, you have to get over this whole human thing. You're crazy.
I like that Vash that Knives is using humans now kind of as pawns with his own little cult thing that he's got going on. That's good. That's a good change of strategy, I think.
Yeah. He is, so for some reason, well, eventually Wolfwood falls out with the eyes of Michael, and he's no longer like a member. I can't remember if it's either his like him being around Vash a bunch and he's like kind of rubbing off on him. That's the other thing, is they like their ideals switch a little bit. Like even Vash is constantly like, you know, hearing like you have to use violence sometimes, Vash, and also Wolfwood is like being like, I guess I'll choose mercy. That's not what Vash would have wanted me to do. So these guys really like kind of love each other.
There's like interplay between them and also between the insurance ladies that we were talking about.
Yeah, the two
earlier.
insurance ladies have romantic interests. Millie likes Wolfwood and Meryl likes Vash. And then at one point, Meryl does something that reminds Vash of Rem, and so he kind of ends up liking her too towards the end.
Cute.
But they
I'm
don't
way
go too
more
far
into
it.
the other ones though.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
And so Wolfwood is helping Vash out, and they are doing these adventures together. And once Vash is like gone underground, gone incognito, Wolfwood is the one who comes and finds him and is like, Vash, we need Vash the Stampede, because there's been these like terror attacks, all these murders, and the only clue we have is that in blood on the wall was written the word knives. And then as he says that, Vash is like, and then we, the audience, are like, why does he care about this? But that's because we haven't seen all the backstory stuff yet. But I already told you. So it's like, his brother's back. And also Wolfwood knows who it is because, again, he was in a secret cult that.
But this is all.
But again, we don't know. This is a mystery for us, the audience.
Right. CJ, I totally understand like why you framed it this way, but like
because I would have to tell you that other stuff, and then like, okay, now we're gonna do all the backstory.
Yeah, no, it's a very sensible way to frame it, but like the show feels so different because it just starts out as this like Wild West show, right? That's like got weird sci-fi guns sometimes, but it's like in the Wild West, and then you're just like, we're actually from space. We're like, what?
Yeah. So Knives is back. He's calling his brother out, and he has sent his cadre, the Gung Ho Gang, out to terrorize people.
Was the Gung Ho Gang different than the
Eyes of Michael? Yes.
Yeah.
So the Gun Ho Gang is a bunch
Gung Ho
of
guns.
The Gun Ho guns. They are like outlaws that are like bandits, whereas
but they're
the
like
other
the
guys,
best outlaws.
the other guys is more, the Eyes of Michael is more like a secret society, although
but
they do
all
have
listen
these
to
like
Knives.
Yes, they worship him. As opposed to the Gung Ho guns, who are like, they work for him, I guess.
Sure.
I don't know if they're as all in on the
Right,
ideology.
And they kind of fit that thing too of like the gung ho guns want to be, you know, the best guns in the West, and so
Right.
taking out Vash is also like
Yeah,
a pride thing, you know. But they're very silly and great. I remember one of them, like his thing was that.
Wait, Ethan, wait.
Oh, are you gonna go like
do you
the
guys
list?
do you guys want to play a game?
Yes.
Whoa!
Yes. I feel like
all right.
I'm at a severe disadvantage.
I will say, let's just have Sammy.
It's been a long time.
We'll have Sammy go first in each of the instances, but
That's fine.
Here's the game. I'm going to name one of the gung ho guns,
Okay.
and I want you to tell me what their gimmick is. Or what thing? Some of them are going to be easier than others.
Okay.
It's been a long time, so I'm not gonna do as good at this as I should, but I do
Okay.
love their gimmicks are really good.
Let's start with Monev the Gale.
Mon of the Gale? What
Mon of
is
the
an
Gale.
example of like what you mean by a gimmick? Like, is it like having a giant cross that
Okay,
turns into a
here,
gun?
let me do a different character first. That'll be more obvious.
Sure.
Okay.
And then maybe you'll get the voice to it. So another member of the Gung Ho Gang is called E.G. Mine, and he has a big metal orb that he is in that has spikes on it to make him look like a mine, and he also blows things up with explosives.
Okay.
So
Okay,
he's
that's
a
good.
mine-based
Okay.
gunslinger. What do you think Monev the Gale's thing
The
is?
gale. So my initial thought is gale, like a gale of wind. So some kind of
Mhm.
weather balloon. He has a weather balloon. He's in a weather balloon. And
That's pretty good. He's
that's
just
my
high
answer.
up.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
high up.
Okay.
You can attack from above.
right.
You can't reach him.
Ethan, do you know anything about Monev the Gale?
I don't remember that one. Does he like create desert storms and then attack in the storms?
Nope, you're both unfortunately wrong. This one is actually a bit of a trick one because Monev the
Started
Gale
with a
has...
trick.
Yeah, I started with a trick. That's when you least expect it.
That's true.
Monev the Gale has a giant power armor suit that makes him into a huge man. He's a huge man.
He's just a big guy.
He's
Okay.
just a
I think-
big guy.
Yeah, I think I remember this guy. He kind of looks like the Juggernaut.
Yes, yeah, he looks like the Juggernaut. Okay, what about Dominique the Cyclops?
Okay. I think Dominique is has an eye patch, only has one eye. Something happened to their eye. Maybe
Yep,
they
yep,
flip
yep.
up the eye patch and it's a laser.
Oh,
Because you said there's a
Yeah, what do-
transhumanist, right? Like, so there's
what
like
do,
robot
what do,
parts.
what do you think, Ethan?
I think this is the one that I remember, and I
Okay.
think he is the sniper with like a 20-foot long sniper.
He is, well, first off, it's this one definitely goes to Sammy.
Damn.
Yes.
Sammy, you've got it. Dominique the Sniper wears an eye patch which covers up his demon's eye, which causes hypnosis and sensory paralysis. Oh, in her foes. Sorry, I said he. Also, she's a lady.
Wow. I've been cheated here.
But she reveals her demon's eye, which looks like a reptile eye.
Cool.
And yeah, she can paralyze her foes with her
That
special
seems
eye.
really like a good power to have.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I agree. This one, maybe it's another trick, or maybe it's really easy. Leonoff the Puppet Master.
I don't think this one's a trick. I think that he has little robot guys that he can send out and they explode probably and kill people.
Okay. All right, Ethan, what do you think?
Every time Sammy does, I'm like, that sounds really good. I should just go with that. I'm gonna say that he has some kind of like chips that he can put on people and control
make
them.
the
Ooh,
Puppet
that's
Masters.
good. That's
No,
good.
Sammy is closer. Although you said that they were little robots, incorrect. They are actually puppets connected to him via strings.
I should have gone more literal.
The least trick name of them all.
In the manga, he is defeated by Vash when Vash turns on a water sprinkler system, which sprays water over all of the strings that the puppet master has connected to his hands. And there are so many strings that the added weight of all of the water on all of the strings at once crushes his hands.
Wow. That's a
Very
good way of defeating somebody.
Yeah,
just turning on the
crazy.
sprinklers.
I never expected water out
Seems
here
like
in
a
this
pretty
desert.
big weakness in this planet.
Not on this planet, it ain't.
All right. Nicholas the Punisher.
Okay, this one, not a lot of specific clues. I'm gonna
No,
say
there is one clue though that's pretty. If you were paying attention, Sammy, you can get this one.
Uh-oh. Well, my initial thought is probably not related to whatever I'm supposed to be getting here. Is that he wears one of those like medieval robe things for when you are the executioner, like, and you have
sure.
like a thing over you, and then he just is a guy who kills you, just like that. No other gimmick other than he's just wearing this
As
robe
opposed
thing.
to the rest of these
Yeah.
outlaw bandits.
They're all doing a lot of fancy stuff. No,
They do
he's
have
just
other-
gonna
yeah,
like
they-
slash or shoot you, but he's wearing a big rope thingy. I don't know what those are
Ethan,
called.
do you know Nicholas the Punisher?
Like what this game is telling me is that I need to go rewatch the show because it's been actually like 20 years or so.
Maybe you guys need to rewatch this show because the hint here was that his name is Nicholas. Do we know any other Nikolai so
like
far?
Tesla.
Oh, maybe
Yes.
one Nicholas D. Wolfwood. Remember when I said that earlier?
Gosh.
Nicholas the Punisher has a giant cross because he is none other than Wolfwood, who was briefly a member of the
Okay.
Gung Ho Guns.
Wow,
Remember?
you really
I
got
was-
me good.
Knives sent him out to go look over Vash.
I was not going to remember that. They never call him anything other than Wolfwood like throughout the show.
Yeah, that's why it's a little bit of a trick still.
That's just like that's his cool name. We're going with Wolfwood.
Okay. What about Hoppered the Gauntlet?
Hoppered?
Yep.
That's it has to be. What was the second? Sorry, I got so focused on Hoppered, I did not listen to the rest
The
of what you-
Gauntlet.
The Gauntlet. I think he's a
Mhm.
frog, or he's a very frogly looking man.
Okay.
And he uses his big powerful legs to crush people.
Okay. Ethan, what do you got?
Jesus, dude. Hoppered the Gauntlet. I got nothing on that. That's such a weird.
Hopper is
Sammy?
If it was like Joe the Gauntlet or something, I would have, but like Hoppered the Gauntlet, I'm like, no, that's too weird.
Sammy, you are absolutely unbelievably so close. Hopper the Gauntlet has deformed legs, so he keeps them inside of a big shell that he wears, and he has his arms coming out of the shell. He uses his arms to walk around on and to launch himself using his big armored shell into other people.
Wow.
So he
That's-
does jump around like a frog off of his powerful arms and smashes
Wow.
into people and stomps on them.
Wow.
Excellent.
That was a great.
Love it.
That
I'm
was a
gonna
great
look
job,
up
Sammy.
a clip of that guy. That's the thing
I
I'm
think
most
you'll-
interested
I think
in.
you'll like it. All right. What do you guys think is the gimmick for Mid Valley, the Horn Freak?
He's got horns growing out of his head, and he headbutts people.
Okay. Ethan,
Okay. I think I actually remember this one, and he plays like a saxophone or something.
It's a guy who plays a big saxophone. That is correct, Ethan. Sammy,
Oh,
unfortunately,
my
you were
God.
thinking about the wrong kind of horns. We're
Wow,
talking
that's
about the
incredible.
ska version, baby.
Does he hit people with the saxophone, or does he play it so good that they give up, or what's the sax? How does that play in combat?
He is able to synchronize sound waves with pain receptors in the human body, causing immense physical pain.
Yeah, of course. Why?
He
Why did
literally
I
uses.
You give me a
uses the power
saxophone,
of
I can
music.
cause some painful noises also.
Amazing. Love that guy. All right. Gray the Nine Lives.
that got to be related to cats. Gray the Nine Lives. I think stealth operation. You never see this one coming. They kill you
Okay.
before you even see them.
Sure. Ethan?
Is this my sniper boy? I keep like waiting for you to just say a thing like the long shot, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, that was him.
Gray the Nine Lives is maybe the opposite of a stealth character. He is the largest, bulkiest member of the Gung Ho Guns. He is 7.5 feet tall, bulky, muscular humanoid cyborg. He is called that because he is very difficult to kill.
Neat.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense then.
There you go.
Okay, Ride the Blade.
Ride the Blade.
Yep.
I think this is he's got the biggest sword anyone has ever seen.
Okay, big sword.
The biggest
Ethan,
sword.
Ethan, do you remember Ride the Blade?
I don't, but I'm gonna guess gun sword. Everybody loves a good gun
Yeah,
sword.
that's a good guess.
You're both mostly wrong. He is a samurai.
Oh,
Pretty much
Okay.
just that.
Okay.
okay. That one's a little disappointing compared to
right,
the
yeah.
other ones.
Yeah,
With,
Do
like,
better.
Saxophone that hits
I think
your
we
pain
are
receptors.
going in order of power, so we are getting actually less strong.
Okay,
maybe.
that's good to know.
Maybe not. I don't know.
So the
Zazzy
saxophone guy is more powerful than the big 7.5 foot tall
Yeah, he's
dude.
really strong.
That's a powerful. What? You're a samurai, right? What are you gonna do when from all the way over there he play powerful music?
That's so true.
that make you hurt.
It hurt.
Zazzy the Beast.
Zazzy the Beast.
Zazzy the Beast.
That's incredible. I really want Zazzy the Beast to play another instrument, and they have like a little band.
you think that a subsection of it is just
They
Yeah.
they
band?
loved the music thing so much they were like, we gotta
Yeah,
do
we
another
got
one.
more of them, but probably just really hairy, just really hairy.
Okay, very hairy.
Yeah, that's his
Ethan?
gimmick.
I'm gonna guess that he has some kind of like cybernetic tail, and does like
That's
Slaps
good.
people around.
yeah.
I think there is a character who does that, but that is not this one. So let's talk about Gunsmoke a little bit.
Okay, wait. Do you know who my sniper? Now I'm like messed up on who my sniper boy was.
The sniper boy only appears in the anime, is not in the
Ah,
manga, and
okay.
it is Kane the Long Shot.
Wow,
Hell
you're
yeah!
right.
Yeah,
Wait, so what was the Beast's deal?
he's got a really long gun. Like it's
No,
pretty.
that's the
it's-
long shot. Yeah.
It's
No, but what
pretty
about the
long.
Beast? You didn't tell us what the Beast is.
I was rudely interrupted by Ethan. Zazzy. So, when humans landed on Gunsmoke, they were like,
this is an intro
this-
to how this
I
works.
see. I thought CJ was
this
just done with
place-
the game. I see. We have to
this
we have
place
to dive into it.
was like uninhabited.
Okay.
Turns out there were some creatures that already lived on Gunsmoke. There are these big bird creatures that they end up taming and riding around like horses. So they don't have horses in this
Yes,
world.
I
They
do.
have
Yeah, the
big
birds.
There are also a bunch of sandworms. The sandworms just try and eat you. They're like They're like
sandworms
sandworms.
Sandworms do that, yeah.
There's also all these bugs everywhere. As we learn, the bugs are the larval form, basically, of the sandworms.
Okay.
And all of the sandworms and bugs are all part of a big hive mind. That's right.
Yeah.
The planet has a big bug hive mind that lives on it.
Nice, nice.
They are not particularly pleased that the humans are here, yet they do think that these humans are like stronger than they are. And so they don't actively fight against the humans. They just are like trying to preserve as much of itself as it can.
Okay. Do they eat the humans though?
They do eat the worms eat
Okay.
humans for
That
sure.
seems like a whole new food source just showed up on your planet. That's kind of
Right,
nice.
right. I was gonna say, I feel like the sandworms would win, but
the hive mind created a humanoid extension of itself in order to interact with the humans, and they called it Zazzy the Beast.
They named their one human representative Zazzy.
Zazzy the Beast.
That's cool.
And Zazzy the Beast started working with Knives because Knives also wants to kill all the humans.
Yeah.
And Knives is like, we can kill the humans and then you can have your cool bug world and we'll have our cool plant world and you guys all live underground anyway and we'll live up here. And they're like, that seems fair. But also Zazzy the Beast is all about kind of like survival of the fittest and stuff too, because they're all like natural and stuff.
Okay.
So
I-
Zazzy the
Sammy-
Beast is a hive mind of all the worms that live on the planet.
I can't believe we didn't guess that.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
It was
seems
right there.
so obvious now.
There is another anime specific one. It's not very important. Chapel the Evergreen.
That sounds cool.
He's
I like that.
He hides himself as a tree. He camouflages as a tree.
Mm,
This
I
is
like
the
that.
stealth
De-
character.
it's a desert, so it doesn't work great. But
Ethan, do you get a guess for Chapel the Evergreen?
no, he just disguises himself as a tree. Oh,
He's another priest guy.
Okay, sure.
He's Wolfwood's mentor. Taught him how to kill and was a holy man.
Does he have a big
And
cross?
he does not have a big cross. He uses two big, like, regular guns, kind of.
Okay, so he's the lesser of the holy.
Yeah.
The warriors.
He doesn't have much of a theme, really, quite honestly. It does say he dresses in dark green, although every picture I'm seeing of him is him in black, so
Sure.
I don't
It's
know if that's
really
true.
dark.
I
The darkest green.
do you think that there was like when Wolfwood started coming around with a giant cross-shaped gun, he was like, "You've surpassed me, boy."
I do think that probably happened. And there are also a few manga specific ones that do appear in the new series as well. I'll just go through them because I don't think. Oh, here we go, Ethan. Elendira the Crimson Nail.
Is that our long tail?
That's
one?
our long-tailed. She has. Wait, I don't know. Maybe not. Sorry, this thing. I haven't seen it because it wasn't in the anime, so I'm just reading about it. But it says she's just hot.
Oh, that's a
The
really
best
good power,
one.
though.
That's a good power.
She wears a full bodysuit under her clothes, allowing her to move faster when she is in a fight.
I assume like a full cybernetic
Yeah, it's just
suit.
like a
I
normal
guess
bodysuit.
she seems to just be like a hot girl. It says she's the strongest gun-ho gun.
Nice.
She's just so hot that she's
Yeah.
the strongest
I think
one of everyone.
She's capable of projecting her killing intent to seemingly create illusions of destruction to break people's will.
Okay, so she's
That's dope.
psychically hot.
Whoa,
She's psychically hot.
she's a trans queen. I guess she shows up as a man earlier in the series and then transitions to a woman.
Hell yeah, we love that.
And then becomes the strongest gun-ho gun. All right,
by
cool.
being so hot.
By being hot, I guess. Nice.
What
I mean,
a
that's
good
the dream
strat.
of every
Yeah.
trans woman, I think. So become so hot you kill people.
Yeah.
It's the trans agenda.
Yeah. There is Livio the Double Fang. He's got 2 guns.
Yeah, that's if you had that
They're
one in there, that's what I would have guessed. He
I was
got 2
hoping
guns.
it was real fangs. Like he just
No,
bites
they're
people.
it's called the Double Fangs. They're 2 cross-shaped guns. That's right. He's another preacher gunman.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And then what do you guys, again, you have to remember a little bit about this. I
Oh,
think you can
no.
figure this one out.
I hope his name is Nicholas.
Raslo the Tri-Punisher of Death.
Raslo the
Okay.
Now
Punisher.
think
of
about
Death.
the
So, Nicholas was the Punisher, right? It was
did
Nicholas.
he
the
name
Punisher?
him-
Nicholas was the Punisher.
Did he name
he's
himself
3
or did
cross.
someone else? Like, because Vash didn't name himself Vash the Stampede. Did the same namer guy be like, this one's the Tri-Punisher of Death?
There's actually a very logical reason he has that name, Ethan.
He has 3 crosses.
He does have 3 of the big cross guns
My God.
that Nicholas has. He is the Tri-Punisher.
I like that
Sure.
Punisher means has big cross gun in
I
this
think
world.
I think the Punisher is the name of the gun.
Okay.
Sure.
So the Tri-Punisher just means he's got 3 of them.
How do you
Wow.
even carry that around? Aren't they really
Strong.
big?
Yeah, they're really big. Awesome. Well, those are the gun-ho guns.
I love them. I love all of them.
Beautiful.
I
Yeah, they are
think they're the heroes of this. Sorry, Vash, you're out. I'm
They
done with you.
don't. They're like important to the plot overall, but individually they all just kind of act like, you know, your classic anime. Like we got to beat each of these guys. And they
Right,
have, like,
yeah,
a
they're-
wacky thing that they do.
The monster of the week kind of anime show where it's
Yeah.
like this
But sometimes
this
it's
week
a guy
this
with a
this
saxophone.
wacky one. Yeah, fuck yeah.
But that being said, we're actually reaching kind of the end of our story because Vash, after Wolfwood comes, knocks him out of his funk, says Knives is back. He's got these gung-ho guns. Vash comes to defeat them. You could do a whole episode just on like this whole bit because it's about Vash having to like come to terms with needing to use violence, and like the purpose of all the gung-ho guns is they're all trying to kill Vash for like clout and for prestige and stuff like that, but Knives has sent them all out to go after Vash to like break him, to make him stop being a non-violent, you know, silly man, and to like turn him more into himself.
Yeah. Which one
Vash
does
wants
it?
to
Is he
Vash
like
wants to defy all
the
of them.
saxophone comes out and he's like, I do have to use
I
violence."
have
The saxophone guy fights Wolfwood, actually, so he
Oh,
never
okay.
gets to really use it on Vash.
it would have done it.
It would've done it.
Might have done it. But these guys are all led by the leader of the gung-ho guns, who is named Legato. Legato is kind of like Knives' lieutenant dude. He is the one who's like out doing stuff while Knives is still recovering. And Legato is the one who eventually gets Vash to kill him. He is like, he takes the insurance girls hostage after all of these other fights where it's like breaking Vash down and you know, wearing away at his will. Legato is like, you need to kill me. And he's like, I don't want to do that. And he's like, if you don't kill me, I'm going to go kill the insurance girls. And Legato has like powers of his own. I think he has like mind powers. He changes
That's
a lot.
fine, yeah.
Yeah. He changes a lot between the anime and the manga.
Sure.
So it's a little inconsistent. I can't remember if he also has the ability to like trigger Vash's heaven
Laser
gun. Yeah. Oh, also if you're looking for like another Trigun thing, Vash
always
has his regular gun.
Mm-hmm.
Vash has his heaven arm cannon gun. Vash's left arm, as is revealed at one point, is a robot arm. He lost it at one point, and he replaced it with an arm that also has a gun in it. So at one point, it's
He does
a big
have three
reveal.
guns.
Yeah. So like, some people say that, but like, his heaven gun arm comes out of his other gun. So like, that's kind of just one gun still. And his other gun is like not nearly as important. It just comes up a couple times when it's like, oh, Vash is completely, like, he's completely disarmed. He's got nothing left to do. And then he just like pulls out his other arm, which up to this point has always been covered by like a glove or whatever. So you don't actually know it's a robot arm. That one literally just exists because at one point they thought it was cool to have him just like flip out his hand and like a gun pops out
Yeah,
of it.
and they were right.
Yeah.
It's a really funny gun too, because his arm doesn't just turn into a gun. His arm, like, it has like a gun flip out of it, but then he still has to hold that gun with his hand. Like in that hand, and then he like shoots it like a regular gun. So yeah, maybe that's the Trigun. I don't know. Anyway, Vash eventually has to Vash kills Legato.
He's like, wow,
Legato's
it's just like the spider and butterfly dilemma that I had.
Yeah, exactly. From way back. From hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, he's just, actually, I really liked that. That felt great.
I mean, he does. Yeah, right. He does actually flash back to that whole like being on the spaceship like a lot. So he is thinking about it all the time. So yeah. But yeah, Legato has mind powers. He eventually gets Vash to shoot him, which is what he wanted. And now Vash is like, I'm going to do a final conflict with my brother. And Wolfwood, while this is happening, is also fighting members of the Gung Ho gang, and he gets into a situation where he chooses mercy over killing a guy, and then the guy repays him by shooting him. And then this kind of is the moment where like Wolfwood is like, man, I guess I really am starting to like get all these hippie feelings inside of me. And then it's also the same time when Vash has to kill somebody, and so they've kind of swapped places, but Wolfwood has been mortally wounded in his act of mercy. And so he does the thing anime people do where they live way too long based on the amount of time that they should have, based on how critical the wound was. But he makes his way to like a holy house, and then he is like asking for redemption and praying and hoping that Vash can find his way. And then he dies, and Vash discovers his dead body and is like, oh, Knives is gonna have a lot to pay for this. So Vash takes Wolfwood's Punisher gun and is now literally bearing Wolfwood's cross as well as his own.
Wow.
as he goes to face off against his brother, who is now full strength again. And he's like, everything I did was to bring you here, brother. And he's like, look at yourself. You're all beat up. Your morals are in shatters. Your friends are all dead. Like, was it worth it to fight for these humans? And he was like, yeah, it was. And the two of them have a gunslinger off. They fight each other in anime form. Both of them unleash their angel arm heaven cannons
at the same time
at each other, and it creates a big like yin yang like blast in between them for a second. And eventually Vash is able to get the upper hand on his brother. He shoots him like 5 times non-lethally, disarming his brother. They're at the point where his brother actually disarms Vash, takes his gun. Now he has 2 heaven guns, and he's aiming them both at Vash. And at the moment that he's going to get blasted, the spirit of Wolfwood shows up to Vash, and he's like, you've got to use it. It's right there. Use it. And he looks over and he smashes the ground. And as he does, the cross like blasts up from underneath the dirt, and he grabs it and he shoots the two guns out of his brother's hands.
Yeah.
And he's able to incapacitate him. And he's like, you know what? I have been living my life for Rem this whole time, and I still love her, but now I got to start listening to myself, not just to her. And I got to start living my own life. And he takes his incapacitated brother and he walks off into the distance with him. And I'm pretty sure in the anime, it's actually like Knives has like a change of heart after all this. And he's like, I guess humans are worth keeping if they mean so much to you and they've done all this stuff. And
After all of this,
I mean, damn it, brother, I love you so much.
Yeah. And then Vash is like blamed for all of the stuff that Knives did, because there's also some mistaken identity there, because they're twins. I didn't really mention that, but they
look a little different, but they're both tall blondes.
born
I was
from
gonna say
plants, so.
they stylize themselves very differently, but it's implied that they look basically the same, apart from the fact that they have way different hairstyles and clothes and stuff. And so Vash becomes kind of a villain to everybody, and Knives becomes like a person who is who wants to like help humans now. I mean, Vash does too, but he's like
villainized.
Wasn't he always villainized? It just like hasn't changed.
But then they
now more. There's a $20 billion double dollar bounty.
No, they got rid of the bounty on him. Remember, because he's no longer an outlaw. He's now officially recognized as a humanoid disaster.
Yeah, Vash the humanoid disaster. Yep.
The humanoid typhoon. And that's the story of Trigun. That's all the stuff that happened. Again, there's like, I've seen a couple. I gotta say, like, we usually, when we're researching stuff, we'll like look up, what do other people think about it? What's the symbology you're getting from this? What are the morals and messages? And I think most of the time we look it up and people are like way wrong. I think they're just wrong. I think they're like,
Fair, yeah.
I don't think you know what you're talking about.
Like on the last
episode. I think there's a lot of good stuff in this one. I don't know if I agree with all of it, but like I think a lot of the discussion around the themes in this one, it's like open enough where it does kind of make you think about stuff. Sometimes, it's one of those things where your analysis on it kind of reveals more about you than the actual thing you're talking about. There are a lot of people who tie it back to like the author was, he had these like Christian ideals that he was working through of like, can you be good in a cruel world? A lot of that kind of stuff. But I think especially right now, having a hero who believes in fighting back but staying non-violent is a very important message. But it also it's like Vash is a superhuman. He is able to not have to kill people because he is basically in the story like an angel. He is like a good angel, and his brother is like a fallen angel. And he is allowed to have these really like extreme views of like nonviolence because he doesn't need to.
Because he can shoot so good that
because he can shoot good. He can avoid bullets.
Incapacitate you without killing you.
He can survive things that most people could not. And so like it's really the humans in the story who have a lot more on the line, because they are not super beings. They are just heroes. And so being brave, even when you are very mortal, is what being a hero is all about. Maybe even more so than when you have superpowers. So I think
I'll take the superpowers though.
Yeah, I mean, It'd be cool to have a cool gun arm, I guess.
Mhm.
I want the
Yeah,
eye that just incapacitates.
Okay,
it.
well,
Incapacitates
good,
you?
because that's how I was thinking that we end this one out is with our own gun ho gun
Sure.
character
Okay,
names.
yeah.
So I should say
What-
I've been Ethan the quad rifle. I have 4 different
Four.
rifles
We've
that
never
I use.
How do
seen
you-
4 before.
How do you? Is it like on your elbows too, or something, or like knee pads?
No, I just hold 2 rifles in each hand. My pinkies are trigger fingers,
okay.
and my index are trigger fingers.
I like so it's like
That's
top
cool.
and bottom on
Yeah.
both sides. That's fun. That's still technically like 2 guns, but
Nope, it's the quad rifle.
I'd be Sammy the one-eyed salamander, and I have the cool tail that we were talking about that maybe doesn't
Nice,
even
nice.
exist, but I like that idea. I can whip
It's-
people with it, but I also have the eye that just makes people stop being able to do whatever they're doing when I show it to them.
if you
Okay,
get
that's right.
scared, can you just like drop your tail and run away fast?
Yeah, I also just regrow all my body parts.
Yeah, right. Cool. That would be helpful.
Yeah.
I like gun swords. I think I would do the gun sword thing. I'd be like, CJ, siege the slash, siege the slash,
That's pretty
That's good. That's
you
good.
got there.
and then they'd be like, oh, it's just swords then. And I'd be like, nope. Guns come out.
Got him.
Bullets come out of them
Got
too.
him. They never see it coming.
All right, I like our gun ho gun gang.
Yeah, I would hire us. I mean, I do. Well, speaking of people that have been hired and who help out, you've reached the end of another episode, which means you get to hear us thank our good friends Galestorm Kitchener for doing the artwork for our show, and to Apajo for doing the intro and outro music. Speaking of music, the Trigun music, very, very heavy, very cool sounding music. It's the kind of thing that will get your white ass on the dance floor. So, you know.
Okay.
And yeah, the new Trigun's coming out. It's to put it in context, it's different than the stuff we talked about today. They're kind of doing a soft reboot. And specifically the show ends, the new show right now ends at the July incident, which in the original one happened well before the main events. So you get kind of a new Vash. He's, as Lizzie puts it, he is baby. They made him kind of baby.
Love that.
Before he was just kind of goofy, but now he's more baby.
Baby Vash.
But they're kind of doing a new thing, and you know what? I say if you're going to reboot a series, you should just do it different in some way. Otherwise, what's the point? So I like that they're making new stuff. I think there will be plenty more, but they do seem to use at least a good deal of the lore for the old ones. So hopefully this episode will clue you in onto some of the things that they're talking about in this new show. I think that's pretty much it. I think, stuff's pretty bad out in the world right now. Kind of sucks. We are Midwesterners, so a lot of this stuff is happening to our dear neighbors that we are in huge support with, and do whatever you can to get out there, help your neighbors, get those ice bastards out of your lives, and choose to be a hero instead of a villain in this world. That's pretty much all we have to say about it. Otherwise, enjoy your escapism for a while, and stay safe out there. But until next time, I've been CJ.
I've been Ethan the
I was
quad
gonna say,
rifle.
siege the slash.
And I've been Sammy the one-eyed salamander.
And don't explode a city.
And don't kill a spider in front of your brother.
Or do... I mean, who even knows?